However, it's been gotten to the point where many people do it because it's something that you have to do, and it is buying the best thing, the most expensive thing, the most trendy thing, the current thing. Well, how about if we turn that around? How about if we turn that around and instead of driving ourselves crazy to buy the thing, and many people put themselves into debt for that, so that causes anxiety and worry and all that, guilt in there, all of that. Instead of doing that, how about if you saw that person beyond the outside superficial and knew what it is that would touch that person's heart? How about that? Because that's really what it's about in this season of light, giving the light, shining the light together and giving it to those who maybe aren't so sure. And to those who are, and the light's joining, becoming even brighter. How often has it been that you've heard from people, and maybe yourself have done it too in your past, in that you think about what that person should have because you like a thing, that person should like it. And how many of us have received gifts with somebody's thought behind that gift? But if they had seen you, they would know that it would be nothing that you would ever use. Or you'll be grateful for the person giving you that gift. It's not something that fits in your life. What do you do with those gifts? Do you keep them? What do you do with them? Sometimes the best thing to do after you've said thank you and accepted the gift is to know it's a gift to be passed on to someone else. That isn't out of anything negative or anger or any of the personal, but just knowing, thank you. I know this is not for me, but I know it will be for someone else. So I will put it aside. And I know that that person will show him or herself at some time, and it will be ready to be given. This is something that comes from the heart then. We can take it even further. There are gifts that you can make. It doesn't take a lot of time, doesn't take a lot of money to buy what you need to put them together, but it is something that your pure intent can go into in the making. You know, we've talked about Mesa, and we can always talk more about sacred altar and Mesa and all of that in any of our gatherings on the Monday evening. So always know that you can always ask any questions that you would like, and we do urge you to encourage you to bring out your comments and what you'd like to say. But we've spoken about Mesa, the sacred altar of the Inca. That the cloth that the Mesa is on is a cloth that has been handmade. Because we know that when a cloth has been handmade, somebody's intent of love has gone into the making of that cloth. And we can feel it. In the case of a quero, when we have quero cloth and other cloth in Peru, and you can feel it from the natives in this country, their cloth as well, is that it is maybe one person's hands is doing the weaving, but it is their whole community, their whole tribe, their whole nation is being woven into that cloth. And that's why. Now I bring that as an example into what you can do by creating gifts of your own, and perhaps the ones that are symbols of that person and help to them. there's two that come to mind for this call because, as all of you know, I always ask the Sacred Ones of Light before the calls, what do we bring this evening? And this is what I was given, the gift giving. And the two that were given to me are dream catchers and mandalas. I am going to ask you to open the phone a moment so that any of you who can, if you know what a dream catcher is or what a mandala is or you don't, please say that. Because for those of you who don't, I am going to go into that and clarify anything that may not be about those. So you can open your phones. Joseph.
Yep, we're open.
Okay. How many of you know what dream catchers and mandalas are?
I'm familiar with it, but not positive I know exactly what they mean.
Okay. Anyone else?
Well, I know the dream catcher. Not quite sure about the mandala so much.
But the dream catcher, you're familiar with that?
Yes.
Okay.
Is a mandala a spiritual drawing?
It can be a drawing.
Okay. I have a friend that does those. Yeah.
Okay. How about dream catchers?
I have an idea, but I'm not 100% sure.
Okay. Anyone else?
I know that I bought all this stuff to make dream catchers with, but I haven't made them yet. So.
Well, maybe you'll learn how, huh?
Well, okay. I know how. I just haven't been busy.
Okay. Anyone else know what dream catchers do?
Are they supposed to catch the bad dreams, I think? That's what I heard. I'm not sure. Yeah.
Okay, I am going to go into the legend a bit about that, but you're on the right track there, yes. How about mandalas? No? Okay. Yeah.
I have a book on, I think it was like astrological mandalas, unless I'm saying it right. I'm not sure.
Okay, well, that might be something different.
Yeah, I think it probably is.
No, it really isn't like a labyrinth, no. So that's something different then that you've read of.
Okay.
And how about the rest of you? Anybody? No? Okay. A mandala can be done in different ways. They can be drawn, as Michael has said. They can be woven. They can be made out of other items. A mandala has many different aspects. One we're speaking about is that of self. When one creates a mandala of self, you are creating a physical manifestation of yourself. They can be done in different shapes. They can be done in circles. I have seen them in different shapes as well. I have seen them done in what would look like an octagon. I'm going to ask you to mute the phones, Joseph.
God.
Have you got it, Joseph? Joseph? Are they muted?
Yeah, sorry, I muted myself.
Okay. So the mandala can be a physical expression of yourself. If it is that you know that your primal self is wolf, let's say, in the center of that mandala, It could be a picture of a wolf, a drawing, a photograph. It could be wolf fur, if you've gotten that in a clean way. But aspect of wolf would be right in the center. From the four corners, there would be yarn or rawhide or some cord that would go north-south, east-west. It would go that way. And in the center, this photograph or core of wolf would be attached to those. On those four corners, or those four cords, there would be beading. There would be feathers. And you're all guided when you're doing this, so you know the colors and the types of beads and the feathers that go there. And the circle itself, what I have found works quite well for the circle is an embroidery hoop, a wooden one. Works perfect for this because on the inner hoop you can tie the cords, and when you place the outer hoop over that, it holds it in place. Now before you would do that, the outer hoop would be wrapped with ribbon or strips of cloth or what it is that you're guided to, because that would be a mandala of yourself. And that goes around there. And then from the four corners, again, there would be feathers that depend from those, beaded feathers that depend from there. Now, if you understand that, see how it would be if you were to make a mandala for someone else. What a very special gift that would be. And that would certainly, you would be sourcing through your higher perceptual primal self completely, so that when that mandala is done, it has become imbued with your intent of love, of gratitude, of all that best serves that person, not as you would have it, but as you are shown. You as the vessel of light, not the person. What a very special gift that is. And it doesn't take a lot of time. It can take as much time as you want or as little time, depending on how it is that you are told to go about it. And this is something that when you give it to that person, you tell them that. You can write it so that when they open the box or the pouch, that there they see what it is that you have given them. Very special. Mandalas can be made. I've made them for couples who have just gotten married to bring good fortune, all that the goodness of that marriage has been placed into that mandala, and aspects of each of the partners is in that mandala, and I've given that to them. So I'm giving you examples of different ways you can do this. A dream catcher, on the other hand, yes, it is. I'll even read something that I have here that really says it very well. And this is from the Lakota Iroquois. The webbing would catch all the bad dreams, while the hole in the center would allow all the good dreams to flow freely so that they would come true. That's the legend of the dream catcher, but that's what it does. So you can make a dream catcher. Same thing, use that wooden embroidery hoop, okay? When you look at a dream catcher, you say, boy, that might look very intricate, how to get all that going that way. It's really not. Using embroidery floss, I have always found, is the best. Where it is that you tie some so that they go across. So there's enough gaps. Now this is where you make the hole. On the ones that go vertical, you tie strands of this embroidery floss so it pulls up some of those strands. The ones on the side, pull them aside, and the ones on the bottom, pull them down, so you have that hole. That's simple. And when you take the embroidery floss, you wrap it around each, as you take that vertical one, you wrap it around each of the horizontal ones so that when it pulls up to make that hole, or pulls out in whatever direction you're working in. And again, dress it. And that is with feathers, with beads, with yarns. So that, again, your intent is, because remember, fukui, you breathe your intent that this dream catcher is made to be what it is meant to be, to catch the dreams, the so-called bad dreams, and that the good dreams can flow freely through. Now, we've had dreams, so you know that there's really not bad dreams. So what happens is that when the dream catcher catches them, that gives you the place to step back and see them for what they are, transmute them, transform them into the guidance that they are, so that they can then flow through. So I'm going to ask you to open the phones again, because I'd like to hear all of your comments on that and questions about that, and how you feel about how it would be to make such things as gifts for others and yourself.
All right.
Okay. So what have you got about that, folks? What would you like to ask or have comments about that?
The mandala, you said it was a circle and then 4 other circles around it?
No.
No, okay.
Okay, I'll go over that again.
Just the shape, I was wondering, yeah.
What I suggested and what I have used myself and found to be very good, and when I've taught these classes, this is what I've gotten for the people who came to the classes to make these, are wooden embroidery hoops.
Yes.
You can buy them from very tiny to very large. And that is the main circle. That's the container in the main circle. Yeah. So how do you feel about that, folks? About making gifts like that for others and for yourself? How does it feel to change that intent?
Well, I had a similar idea. I was actually thinking of it today. I had some basically incense I'd gotten from Peru, that Palo Santo, and I was just going to give it to friends with the intent, to show them how to use it, how to clear spaces with it, how to smudge a person, how to clear their own energy with it, and just sort of give it to them with that intent, basically.
Well, that's a lovely gift. Yes.
I know. That would be fun.
Yes, I always like to make gifts, making them and giving them.
Okay, so folks, what do you feel about this? About dream catchers, about mandalas as giving gifts for this holiday season? How do you feel about bringing something that's unique as a gift to give to someone? How do you feel about that?
It's a great idea to give that and to express the intent of it when you give it to a person, to to even whether it's verbally or non-verbally, just to have that intent to give something that was made from the heart to another person.
Yes. It's very easy to go to the store and pick out the shirt or the necklace or the whatever, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's fine too. Yet giving something perhaps as well of the non-ordinary, again merging the non-ordinary into the ordinary, it can very well be the spark that will help that person to wake up even more fully. So what about this, folks? Yeah, go ahead.
It's a gift that tells the person that you see them for who they are and the beauty of them. And it's a gift that would, the common phrase, a gift that keeps on giving, but truly, each time the person looks upon that gift, it gives them the gift again.
It really, that's a good expression. That yes, the gift that keeps on giving. They certainly do.
Yeah,
they certainly do.
And I guess we need to give without the intent of any reaction from the person.
Right, unconditionally.
Mm-hmm.
And that happens a lot too. It's good that you brought that up, Mary Lou, is that very often a gift is given, yet there is some sense of that person's response to it. In that case, it really never was given to that person.
Yeah.
They're still holding on to it somehow.
That's true.
It's still about you. So these kinds of gifts that we're speaking about, these non-ordinary, there's nothing of you in it except your love, except your gratitude, your acceptance, your willingness to accept others as they are unconditionally. I can tell you, anytime I've received a gift like that, it is more valuable, has more worth to me than anything else. And it doesn't matter if somebody has just handed me a stone.
Well, I find that the books that I give out, either that or the Eternal Wisdom I put on my website's blog, I think it's a form of a mandala in its own way, in that the information speaks to the person or the individual as the Holy Spirit would move them to respond.
Well, sure. Those are teachings. Those are teachings in different forms, but they are teachings, indeed. Mm-hmm. And mandala is an expression of self.
Okay. Well, I guess for me, the books and the eternal truths are something that speak to me, that touch my heart, and so I knowing the people I send it to as I do, I know at some level it will touch their heart in God's time and way. So, because I often get positive feedback from them. I often get feedback in that some of the teachings, a person will say, I needed to read that just at that time because it really helped me with a problem at the moment. See, and God's in charge of the timing,
I'm grinning at that, Michael, because I wrote a book a few years ago. Some of you may have read it, Through the Eyes of Jaguar, One Woman's Journey. Mm-hmm. And I've heard from people that it's a guidance book, that people will open the book. They'll just get a feeling, open the book, and they'll read something in that book, and they'll say it's just what they wanted, they needed to hear that day, in that moment. Mm-hmm. So be it.
Yep. No, I trust that.
I joke around and say it took me about 400 years to write the thing, but I did write it. And what I got was the inspiration that if I can do this, you can too.
Oh, sure. No, everybody has
and
a book.
Yeah. You know, and so how people who got the book have come to know it and utilize it is more than I have ever dreamed.
Right.
Or knew would be. But it wasn't about me in the first place.
No, it was about wisdom that you got through the Creator that you happen to put down on paper.
Well, that's pretty much so. I am in the midst of writing another one, folks.
Well, I've written 2 books, and my third one is going to be called Timeless Wisdom for Hungry Hearts.
Okay. I am writing a new one, and this one will come with a deck of sacred guidance cards.
Mm.
And I'm hoping to have this out, all together out in the public by spring at the latest.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have that coming forth. And that too, you see, I just wanted to say that any of this can be gifts.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, books can seem like an ordinary gift, but not always. Because it can be something that you are guided to get this book for him. Okay, it may not seem anything that seems anything to do with him, but do it anyway. You'd be surprised.
Oh, yeah.
And you were asking something, Michael?
It's addressing a soul-level issue, and there's a great devotional I read every day. It's called Abba Calling. And it's really 365 days of love letters from the Creator to us, and I've given it to a lot of people, and I read it, and they tell me, like you said earlier, they just open it up, and what they read is what they needed to hear for the day.
Right. Well, very nice. So, how about anyone else here about the Mandelas and about the dream catchers? About what Joseph was saying, this is a sacred incense that he's thinking to give to some people. These are all non-ordinary gifts, but they are something that either is handmade or something that is of nature, sacred. How about that, folks? Anybody want to say anything about that? What's coming to you even in this moment as you are reviewing your gift lists of what you can add or what you can change? What are you getting?
Well, I was just wondering, on a practical level with the mandala, I'm wondering, like, how would we know? And I suppose it would be through guidance, like what their sacred animal might be, or something like. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not sure that I would know that about a person. Okay,
it's a good point to bring this up. When you're creating something like a mandala for someone else, you are a pure vessel of light. You are going to be given the guidance of what goes into that mandala. It may not be their primal self. It may be something else that sits in the center. Whatever it is, the guidance is that's what goes on it. That's all. That's simple. See, so it doesn't have to be. When I spoke of the primal self, like let's say wolf, if that's your primal self and you're making a mandala for yourself, yes, then that would go in there. But if you're making it for someone else, you're going to be given the guidance of what goes on, what goes in the center, and what surrounds it. You're going to know that. It may have more than the 4 chords. It may have a multitude of those around the outer rim of the outer circle, what it is that you wrap that with, whatever you're told. What's also nice about using these embroidery hoops, that when it's all done and that outer hoop is on there, on the top, I don't know how many of you may be familiar with these, there's like a little screw that opens and closes the outer hoop so that when you're embroidering, the cloth stays nice and taut in between the 2 hoops. and you're using it in this way, once you tighten that, you can loop some yarn right around that, or a ribbon, or whatever, to use it as what it hangs from, the loop that it hangs on the wall with, and it works out very well that way. So how are you feeling about this, folks?
I feel like it's very familiar. This is what we're talking about makes me feel good, because I do this so often. I give people things that I make as gifts, and I think about the person when I'm doing it, and why I would give them this particular thing.
Well, see, you're already doing it, so this is a very simple thing for you to continue to do. And letting it being imbued with your intent of the season of light gives it something even more extra special. So how about this, folks? How is this making you feel? What ideas are popping into your thoughts right now about what you can do, of what you can give a person? Multitude of things when you go beyond the store shelves.
Well, what comes to me is taking a walk in nature with my friends or family. I think that might be a nice gift.
Sure. So this is what it's about, is bringing forth what it is that the guidance comes to you. Yeah, this is something that, this is for him, this is for her. And it can make it so. And it takes the commercialism out of it. It takes out the intent of Christmas, Hanukkah, and all the other sacred days in this season of light, of all the religions and all the paths of light that celebrate through this season of light. It puts the sacred back in. It takes the commercialism and sets it aside, so that even if I am going to give you a T-shirt, it's going to be sacred in there. Because that's what it's about. That's why this is. So how about if we all bubble together now? Get all excited about sharing inspirations that are coming right now about what to give and how do you make this? Has anyone else done this? Let's get excited. Let's be the season of light elves and get together right now and bubble about this. What have you got, folks? What do you get about this? What other ideas come to you?
My ideas have to do with painting pictures for people.
Oh, well, yeah. For you, yes. Mary Lou is an accomplished, exceptional artist, folks, for you who don't know that.
Thank you.
She does beautiful, exceptional work. If you have somewhere where you show your art, whether it's on the web or elsewhere, and you would like to tell people, Mary Lou, I'll give you the moment to share that with folks, because I can tell you that what she would bring forth would be a non-ordinary gift for someone.
Oh, that touches my heart. Thank you, Fran. That's very nice of you to say.
No.
I do have a website, and it's just my name, maryloushipman.carbonmade.com, and anyone who is interested can certainly look at it and take it for what it's worth to you.
Well,
Mary
it's
Lou
only true.
Shipman. I'm sorry, Carbon
Yes.
Made.
Yeah, could you give me
Say
that
that again? Yes,
please?
say it slowly, Mary Lou, and spell any words that may not be easily understood.
Sure, it's Mary Lou Shipman, SHIPMAN .carbonmade.com.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
How about any of you? What is it that you can offer that others? Yeah, go ahead.
I need to finish my dream catchers, and that just sort of reminded me. And because I bought all the materials to make probably like 5 or 6 of them in different sizes, and I just haven't finished it. You know, I did the first part of it, but I haven't finished it, and that'd be a good Christmas present. We don't have to go out and buy something I don't really want to buy, and I can just give someone a gift, and simple and easy, and yeah.
Yep.
It has a lot better feeling to it than, giving someone a gift card or something.
Yeah. Anyone else? What else in this IU that we have with us this evening can offer? Whether it's in just ideas or thoughts or something that you do or make or something that others can purchase or get from you as gifts.
Nothing on this end, unfortunately. I'm not very crafty.
Okay.
What popped into my mind, but it's already out, and I've seen it. Like little cushions or pillows or something that have maybe lavender for sleep, but that's already out there. But it might be.
And that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. You know why it doesn't matter? Because it would be uniquely from you.
That's true.
It doesn't. All those that are out there do not have your intent in it. Do not have what is you, the unique you. And that's why that if you made these and brought this forth, that is what it would be imbued with, and that is what make it non-ordinary.
Well, you can go to my website, www.familyhealer.org. And I have a blog on there under inspirational articles, which has been helpful to many people in terms of their spiritual growth journey.
Okay.
And my first book is under books. The book is called The 7 Divine Lessons of Family Healing.
And is this all on on your website, Michael?
Yes.
Okay. All right, then all of you, as you feel that you want to do this, certainly go to Michael's website, browse around, and see what he's offering. So for sure, do that.
Are you a healing practitioner, Michael? Just
yes.
Curious.
I've led my family's own healing for 30 years now.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And so everything I've learned out of that, I pass on to other families.
Oh. Wonderful.
I can tell you that I am also offering any of my services. Some of you may have received the email I sent out yesterday with the gift certificate.
Yes.
But I will offer any of my services that you could purchase for anyone. So those are offered. Joseph will be putting it up on my website. It's not there yet, but it will be. But certainly if you want to go take a look through our website, that's www.iusuyu.com.
Say that again. I'm sorry.
the 3 W's, then
Right.
AYLLUSUYU.com. Ayusuyu.
That's a mouthful. Right.
Well, it's Quechua.
I guess.
Quechua. Quechua is one of the languages of Peru and of the languages of the Inca.
Mm-hmm.
It simply, as best as one can translate Quechua, the region of communities together. So that's offered as well.
Well, Mary Lou, I'm looking at some of your pictures on your website here. I particularly am drawn to the one of the angel and child there.
Oh.
I like, of course,
that was
your
from
words
a spiritual book. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And your words of love is nice. And
Thank
Very
you.
good.
Looks like you got a chalice. That chalice here.
Very good. So what else is coming to you, folks? What is inspiring you now? What are you coming to you to give as gifts? And, folks, always remember to gift yourself in this season of life. Always. That's something that many people don't do. They give to everybody else. They don't give to themselves.
Yep.
They give themselves away, but they don't give of themselves. There's all of this. So give yourself a gift, too.
Yes.
That's very, very, very important. What else have you? What's coming to you, folks?
Collages also. Collages are nice to give.
Okay. Beautiful. You see, I am what's called an ultimate messiah. I work the energetics. This vessel does. So I feel it. So I can feel all the movements in all of you. The inspirations that are coming to you, the thinkings that are coming to you. So bring it out. Bubble it out. Let everyone else know.
Oh,
and like I said,
nice.
Mobiles, very nice. And think of the fun you could have with those. As you're making a mobile for someone, how that would be. Hey, Kathy, would you like to share how one would make a mobile? Do you know?
No, actually, I've never made one.
Well, okay. I can tell you an easy way to do this.
Okay.
Again, you can use an embroidery hoop or at least a hoop, and from that depends all what's hanging from that hoop is the mobile.
Yeah, that would be.
And then you just attach whatever it is the symbols are that you're putting on there.
That sounds good.
Real simple thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Dream catchers. When I spoke about that, about how one makes a dream catcher, anyone want to know a little more about that, or was that a little confusing, or?
You could go over again the horizontal. I was following the vertical, and then you pull them out to make the hole, and then the horizontal. You're going to pull them vertically.
Okay, on the hoop itself. Okay, yeah, in the hoop itself. First, you're going to put the horizontal, and usually embroidery floss is very good for this. You put the embroidery floss horizontally, and you want to make them so they're not real close together. Once you have them all across, you take a piece of embroidery cloth, go to about where it would be about the center horizontal one that's going across.
Mm-hmm.
Wrap the horizontal piece on that one, on that the vertical piece on that horizontal cloth, so that you're going to tie that on a little bit.
Mm.
And when you tie it on there, you might want to leave it that it has a bit of a dangler, because you can put beads on that.
Mm.
You could put beads on that, or you could put a small feathers on that.
Mm.
And then, as you come up, weave it around the next horizontal line, pull it back up so that it is wrapped around that horizontal line. Go to the next horizontal line, wrap it again so it goes up till you get to the top. Do you follow that?
Yes.
Okay, now you see what's happening as you're doing that. It's pulling it up.
Mm-hmm.
And you always want to leave enough of a long piece on the top, because that's what you're going to use to dress.
Mm.
The beads or the feathers.
Okay.
And then you do that, so you work your way around until you have that opening.
Okay.
Is that clear to everybody?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. And so when on the ends, when you have the long strands now, that's where you put your feathers, you put your beads, so it's all nicely dressed.
Mm. Okay.
And then that outer rim, when that goes around, those long pieces are depending down past that.
Okay.
Yeah. So any more about gift giving that you would like to offer?
Could also make God's eye.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Kind of
explain that a
similar.
little bit. Explain that to people who may not know what those are, if you will.
That is kind of like you would make a cross with this two wooden pieces like sticks, and then you would take an embroidery cloth and almost make like a kite shape type of, with going around and around it. I learned how to make them from the shaman that I do the pipe ceremonies with. But that's another type of thing, like the dream catcher, a nice type of gift to hand make.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
This is lovely. Look at the ideas that are coming up. We have collages, we have mobiles, we have God's eyes, we have all sorts of things coming up. That's wonderful. Anyone else?
Well, since I'm a musical person, I'm just hearing, the gift of music, that comes to us. I don't necessarily know of. I'm not thinking of any particular form, but just, maybe the ancient tribal music or something along those lines.
Well, again, the guidance would be given to you for that particular person. What type of music would best serve that person? So yes, indeed.
Yes, music for meditating too, or
How about you and a friend or a loved one going to a sacred ceremony, going to some teaching? How about something like that?
Mm-hmm.
I'll be there.
Oh, well, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. If you have a Christmas party, I'll be there, Fran.
Uh-huh. Well, see, now here's the next part I was going to bring out. And this would be for on December 31. Traditionally, on the 31st of the year, I'm usually somewhere, whether it's Peru or somewhere else, bringing sacred ceremony to complete the passing year, moving into the new year. This year, it has not been set in place. So I am bringing it out that I'm willing to go to wherever I'm invited to do that. I will bring sacred ceremony to wherever you are, and all of us together can make this so. And generally it's done through sacred ceremony, through the bringing of a despacho into being and that given to sacred fire. I know at least 2 of you have experienced that, and you know what that's like. And Kathy was gracious enough to host this one year to do that, so she knows, as well as Joseph being in Peru, having seen it and been an integral part of it. If either of you would like to speak a little bit about that, you can do that.
Well, it's certainly a non-ordinary way of bringing in the new year, to say the least. The words to describe it are very hard to find. It's the sacred ceremony at the end of the year, and the despacho that we made was extraordinary. I feel at a loss for words, but the brightness of the light and the high energy and the joy and it is thrilling. More than anything of the ordinary world that you could imagine. Mm-hmm. And being a part of that and being in the ceremony, and it's such a gift of life and light, and not just for us but for the world. It was a beacon of light for the world.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And what makes it even more extraordinary is that each and every one of us participated. Mm-hmm. Not just one person or 2 people, but everyone did. And that's what made it so extraordinary.
Yeah.
And even when I, started to say, first despacho during the medicine wheel, I wouldn't really even then, really just sort of beginning to realize that we're a part of the despacho, and we're, being there, creating it through, whatever we put into whatever we put into it, our intent, whatever's there, what's present during the ceremony, but coming to a place where, now I can just sort of feel the whole process of it and what's going on. It's got a different sort of life to it now than what it had before. Whereas, at least, I don't think anything really changed other than my perception of, what's really going on, and really being able to feel what's going on, and to, feel what's being worked, and, feel the results afterwards of what was worked. Feeling like I lost 20 pounds or something like that, of all this heavy energy and all this stuff that, wasn't me. But that's why sacred ceremony is important to me, to let go of all that stuff that just isn't really necessary. You can just sort of let go of it and see it for what it is. Just gives you a new way of perceiving what's there. a new way of looking at it, a new way of going deeper into what's there, and letting go of what what you need to, and realizing if that's really you, or is that just something you're holding on to that isn't you, and maybe you're carrying a lot of other people's weight. Maybe you can let go of some of it, and maybe but that's why I like any form of ceremonial work. I will be there, and that sounds like a good idea to do something for New Year's, some sort of ceremonial work. You could come here. I don't know what we would have to do, but as far as like rent a place or something like that. But
I guess I'd have to sleep on your couch.
No, I got to make sure.
You'd have to surf on his couch.
But you could sleep on the couch if you wanted to.
I had to say that. You know that. I had to.
Well, they needed a place to stay, and they were at the bus stop, and then they found another place to stay during the middle of the phone call.
That's wonderful. I just want to say this to you. Why it is New Year's Eve, a sacred ceremony, is more vital than I would say most any other time of the year. Possibly the solstices would run close to that, though. It is because this is the transition. This is letting go of all the old strands, all that. Consider this, another layer gone. The energetic cloth, that cloth of creation, lightens up more and becomes strengthened more because another layer of old that does not serve is gone. This is what happens when we work on New Year's Eve. And this is why this truly is merging the non-ordinary into the ordinary. This is why it's so essential. So I know we're getting close to the close of the call, the completion of it. But what did you come to know through your Cloth of Creation call this evening? What has come to you now?
Other things, I'd say, honestly, it was kind of like what I was thinking about earlier today in a lot of different ways, or at least what had sort of came into my awareness earlier that day is, a different sort of kind of gift I could give someone rather than, just, maybe a gift in a way that, triggers an idea, or a gift with a teaching of some sort that, may show something to someone in a different way, or something they can do that they don't know that they can't, or, any number of things. But, it was just similar to what I was thinking and feeling.
Well, sometimes it can be simply reminding a person to remember what they forgot. Helping a person to remember what they already know. Mm-hmm. And these non-ordinary gifts.
Are you all familiar with the book, The 5 Love Languages?
No.
I guess not.
Okay. Well, we've been speaking all evening in the spirit of that book, okay? It was written by Gary Chapman. And it says, there's the gift of quality time, of physical touch, of service, of compliments, and of gifts, okay? And that we need all 5 of them to feel special, to what I call fill our love buckets, okay? But there's one that is particularly strong that makes us feel the most beloved or the most valued. Like for me, spending quality time with my loved ones, that's how I fill up my love bucket the quickest.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. Like for our son, it's compliments, with hugs being number 2.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
For his mother and his 2 sisters, it's service. Because they always have this imaginary checkoff to-do list for all of us, So,
of course. But you see, that's important. What you're saying here is by you seeing each person, you see what it is that best serves them, and that's what you're offering.
And that's
wonderful.
You're giving them the gift in their language rather than in your language, okay? Which
exactly.
Is, and that's why that's such a wonderful book.
Yes, that's excellent. I will also say this, is that there is a workshop that we have that's called Family Tapestry.
And
what this is, yes, it is working.
You said that was a class, did you say?
It's a workshop.
A workshop
that I have. A workshop that I have. The Family Tapestry is about looking at your family's dynamics as an energetic tapestry.
Mm-hmm.
Where has it gotten tangled? Where was the original tangle happened? How has it manifested? Why are patterns repeated in a family? Why are all sorts of things that in the psychological world they'll give their labels, but nevertheless, by working it in the non-ordinary, in sacred ceremony, that becomes untangled. Not as you would have it for anyone else in the family, but knowing that what you do for yourself, you do for the greater good, and it will serve all.
Yes, there's a ripple effect. How often do you teach that workshop?
Well, Michael, this is something maybe we can have a private conversation about that, about possibly bringing this forth together.
Okay.
But it's very wonderful work. And of course, anyone else here who's on the call that feels like that's a workshop that they know would best serve in their own lives, certainly let us know and we will bring it forth again.
Is this area code 732-533-7226? Is that the main number to be able to catch you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And of course, I can always. I very likely. You have my email address, so you would be able to send anything that you want there, and then we'll have a conversation.
Okay. Give that to me again, would you? The email.
My email. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's A as in Apple, P as in Paul, U, S as in Sam, A as in Apple, L, K as in kind, A, N as in Nancy, TAY at AOL.com. That's Apu Salcantay. Apu Salcantay is one of the sacred mountains in Peru.
Okay, that's APUSAL.
K as in Ken. K as in kind.
Yeah, KANTAY, right?
Right.
At AOL.com. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, good.
Okay, folks, I know we're getting to the end, so let's formally close. If any of you would like to say anything before we do that, or bring forth anything before we do that, please do.
Well, I just want to thank everybody for their sharing, and I gained a lot from this evening's conversation.
So, Psyche Wiracocha. So, Psyche Manikila. So, Psyche Apupunya. So, Psyche Pachamama. So, Psyche Punchai. So, Psyche Moonlight. So, Psyche Conchai. So, Psyche Samai. So, Psyche We thank you, you who are the sacred ones of light, the sacred mountains of light. Mother Earth, Pachamama. Mama Kila, Mother Moon, Inti Taika, Father Sun. We thank you all, the sacred ones of light, the light itself, for your guidance, your help, knowing that you will enlighten our path as we continue to work and walk in your service, for we are vessels of light, and to help others to fly as we have come to know how to fly, and so that we all fly together in the one that we are. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all, folks. We'll see you next week.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
All right.
Good night,
everybody.